Hey there, and welcome back to Sleeve M. If you're new to my channel, my name is Emily and I had the gastric sleeve bariatric weight loss surgery on January 9th of 2018. In today's video, I really wanted to go through some of the favorite items I have found along my journey so far. These are items that I have been repurchasing, that I use on a regular basis, and I just absolutely love. I am going to link all the products down in the description box below. I may not be able to give you a link to buy everything, as some of these you may have to buy at a grocery store or something like that, but I will do my best. So, one of the first lessons I learned right out of surgery is I came up with these elaborate plans where I was going to make these fancy protein-rich meals, low in carbohydrates, and I found myself to be doing a lot of work with that. I realized that yes, occasionally I can make an elaborate meal, but every day I do not have time for that. So a lot of these things are going to be simplistic things that I have just been using and really enjoy. One of the first, and I have talked about this time and time again, is GenPro. You can get this at GNC, and I've also found it on Amazon. I am on my third bag of this, and for one scoop, which is about a tablespoon, it gives you 30 grams of protein, and it's 0.6 grams of carbohydrates. I have been using this consistently. If there is any meal out there where I don't feel like I'm getting enough protein in, that has a little bit of liquid to it, I add a scoop of this. You can't taste it. It mixes with everything really well, and I find that it is difficult to get the amount of protein in a day that you're supposed to. I'm supposed to be getting in between 65 to 100 grams. And at the same time, my office roommate she's pregnant, and they told her the same thing. And she goes, oh, with how much food I eat, this should be absolutely no problem. And I said, start counting, because you would be shocked by how difficult that is to achieve. So this is my little sneak treat, is just putting some of this in. If it doesn't quite get me to the 30 grams I want per meal, this is what I use. And the number one things I use it in is yogurt. Now, Greek yogurt has a ton of protein already. For instance, this one has 12 grams of protein. This does have 18 grams of carbohydrate, and it is 120 calories. I love Greek yogurt, but only the Chobani kind. I have tried so many different kinds out there, and I find that a lot of the ones that I really like were higher in carbohydrates than what I wanted. So the Chobani, I like the ones where it has either the fruit on the bottom or the fruit already mixed in. Those seem to be their lowest carbohydrates. They do have ones that flip, but again, those have pretzels and stuff. I mean, those are a little bit higher in carbs. So this has been the best Greek yogurt out there. I have tried plenty. This is phenomenal. The Chobani style, it's creamier. It doesn't have that graininess that some other Greek yogurts give you. I wish I would have tried this first. The first time I had Greek yogurt, I think it was like a Yule plant or something, and it was disgusting, and I hated it. And I thought, well, I would never eat that again. And then when I had the surgery, there was a lot of talk about how this is something I could have within the first 6 weeks. So I tried out different styles of Greek yogurts just to see if they were all bad or if there was one that was good. And this is a good one. So it's not uncommon that I mix a little GenPro in with it to make this around 30 grams. I usually just do a half a scoop. I kind of eyeball it out. I keep one of these at home and at work, so I have the GenPro wherever I need it. So excellent item. The next thing I like to mention, and I see this in a lot of people with weight loss procedures videos, are these tuna packets. They are, for one pouch, there is 2.6 ounces in them. There is 0 carbohydrates and 17 grams of protein. So a very good protein substance. They have all different types. They have ranch, honey smoked, Thai, chili lime. One of my favorite is the lemon pepper. Daniel bought me a barbecue flavor that I absolutely love. I do mix a little bit of mayo in with this, and with the mayo, you guessed it, I put some GenPro with it. Mix this all together. This is a great lunch for me, and I find that the 2.6 ounces is perfect and completely satisfying. So I know this is a popular one, but we got to mention it because If you have not been addicted to the tuna yet, these are phenomenal. When you first hear about a diet, you don't exactly think of heavy whipping cream, but I use this pretty frequently now. I use in sauces, I mix it with my eggs. I find that especially with the eggs, you know, eggs are a very good source of protein and it's definitely a staple in my diet. When I first started, after my procedure, I was told to really reduce the amount of milk I take. Milk is higher in carbohydrates than I would like. So for vitamin D, that heavy milk, it's 12 grams of carbohydrates. We also buy this milk called Carb Masters, which is 3 grams. But I find that I don't want to be wasting my carb intake on beverages. So I have just quit all those things out and I just really drink water now, because we all know that water is so important in getting in. But this heavy whipping cream has 0 carbohydrates. It also has 0 grams of protein. So I find that mixing this with the eggs makes them really fluffy and they're really satisfying. I found when I was mixing eggs with water instead of cream, I didn't feel as full as I did. So I think having the fat from this really gives you that full sensation and it makes the meal last longer. So heavy whipping cream is now on one of my favorite diet plans. The next thing I have are macadamia nuts. I got this trick. I have a person at work who's doing the keto diet and she snacks on macadamia nuts rather frequently. So the ketogenic diet is really high in fat, and these are high in fat. So for a quarter of a cup, there are 25 grams of fat, which I consider really high. There are 1 carbohydrate though, and then 3 grams of protein. So these have been great where if I'm feeling a little bit hungry, or let's say we're gonna go out to dinner and I have to wait a little bit longer than I normally would for my supper, I'll have like 2 or 3 of these nuts and it satisfies me, and they are so good. I bought these on Amazon and they are a little bit pricey, but this bag lasts a long time for how little my stomach is, and it's just a great way to kind of get some fullness in and get things going. The next item I wanted to talk about are pasta. I made that video where I did the shirataki noodles, and I'm not sure that I'm going to go back to those because they did not taste like noodles. They taste really rubbery and they stunk. Like, let's just be honest. But I do love noodles, and I'm not putting anything down on spaghetti squash, zucchini noodles. I love those as well. I've been doing those for a long time, but sometimes you just want like a hearty noodle. And I found these on sale over at Whole Foods. These are chickpea based noodles and they are delicious. So for 2 ounces, and they call it dry ounces, so probably once you get water in there, it's a little bit more than 2. They are 190 calories, and they have 24 net carbs and 14 grams of protein. So this is really, really good. And we mix this with an Alfredo sauce, something like that. In Alfredo sauce, we might add a little bit of Genpro to make 30 grams. And these taste just like real noodles. I mean, they are phenomenal. The first day I brought these to work, everybody said, chickpea noodles, those can't be any good. And I said, well, try one. And everybody was trying the noodles, and they said they couldn't really tell the difference. Now, in your average pasta, so if we were to make this with the regular pasta, it would only be 13 grams of protein and it would be 71 net carbs. So this is a great deal. The next thing I wanted to give a shout out to is almond flour. This is kind of a no-brainer. We bought this at Costco. It's a huge bag and we absolutely love it. We put this in place of any flour and it seems to work really well. So for regular flour, for 1 cup, it usually has 96 grams of carbohydrates. Insane, right? For 1 cup of the almond flour, it's only 12 grams of net carbs. And for protein, in a regular cup of just white self-rising flour, it is 13 grams. In a cup of the almond flour, it is 24 grams of protein. So really a no-brainer, and it works. I mean, I find that I can do it the same amount. I just do it 1-to-1 of what I normally use with flour, and it works perfectly. The other thing that we've been using is pork rinds or chicharrones. These are fried pork skins. Again, another thing I thought I would never say I would be using in a diet video, but these are phenomenal. What we like to do with these is we put them in our food processor and we grind them up so they make a powder. And I use these the same as I would use breadcrumbs or panko crumbs to bread things, or the other day we put it in our hamburger steaks. We just put this, and this is absolutely wonderful. So for 9 pieces, it is 80 calories, 0 carbohydrates, and then 7 grams of protein. So we have been using this instead of breadcrumbs. Now, if you were to look at what breadcrumbs are, breadcrumbs alone have 73.1 carbs in them. So this is a great alternative. Plus I find that these chicharrones, they add a little bit of saltiness and really enhance the flavor of the food. So these are one of our favorites. Next thing I wanted to bring up, I know I have mentioned this in multiple other videos, but it never gets old, is the honey smoked salmon. Daniel brought me this one today in the Chipotle Lime, which I am ecstatic to try. I like to break this up into 3-ounce portions and have this around 9 a.m. as my snack. For 2 ounces though, it's 120 calories, 0 grams of carbohydrates, and 14 grams of protein. I find that 3 grams of this makes me full, but it also gives such a good source of protein that really holds me over till noon when it's time for my lunch meal. So I might be on repeat with this, but this is worth trying. And I know that not everybody has this type of salmon, but lox or something like that would probably work just as well. So when I talk about being simple and going off of things that you don't have to overstress yourself with, especially during the week when we're at work, is very important. And one of the things that we love to buy is a rotisserie chicken. What we'll do is we will break this down, we will divide it. For a 4-ounce portion, it has 26 grams of protein. So when I break this down, I also then put like a little dipping sauce, whether it's the Olive Garden Italian dressing, some ranch, Thousand Island French dressing, honey mustard we put, just a little bit, and I dip it in at work and I snack on this. My favorite time to eat this is 3 o'clock, especially before I know I'm going to go exercise to give me a little boost to get me through my exercise. But again, simple. Get it on the weekend, break it down, divide it up. Something quick to grab and absolutely delicious. Plus, you can check at the grocery store. They have different flavored ones, like there's lemon peppered and things like that you can try different flavors of the rotisserie chicken. The next favorite thing I have is one of the things I noticed when my taste buds change is I am now obsessed with cucumbers and bell peppers. I think I love them so much because there's moisture in them and it is kind of refreshing when you eat, because now I have cut out beverages with my meals, which is extremely difficult, but I've learned that there's a lot of benefit to it, because if you're sipping on water, that takes up space, and I really just want to stay with dense foods and to keep as much of my stomach, because your stomach's like a funnel. So if you're having water, it's going to help push that food through faster, and not having water really does make me feel full longer. I have tried it both ways, and I do agree that not drinking while eating is incredibly important. So I have cucumbers and bell peppers. I use this sometimes with my tuna or with any dips, or they're just something good to snack on. So for a cucumber, for a cup of this, there's 2 grams of carbohydrates, and then for one whole medium bell pepper is going to be 4 grams. And so you'll never really eat a whole bell pepper, but they are phenomenal. I use these instead of crackers, and they give you that crunch, and they're completely satisfying. With that being said, I do want to go over some seasonings. Trader Joe's, to me, has the best seasoning. They have the greater options. The 3 that I like to use is the everything but the bagel, because we don't need the bagel, seasoning blend. I use this. Sometimes I'll put those cucumbers with a little cream cheese, some salmon, sprinkle this on top. The next thing is sometimes I'm feeling a little bit of like a Mexican vibe, And so I have some chili lime. This works really well, really good as well. I like to just pour this over my cucumbers. It's delicious. And the last thing is the everyday seasoning blend. I love to grind this up, put this with my eggs. It gives it really good flavor. And I've had this for a long time. You can see I'm almost out. I need to buy some more, but it's better than just the salt and pepper. It has some other good stuff in there. Let's see, it has mustard seed, coriander, onion, garlic, paprika, chili peppers, just to give it a little bit more flavor. The next thing that's non-food related that has become one of my favorites is farmers market. It is farmers market season. We've had 2 farmers markets open, and my bariatric newsletter that I get from my doctor's office, they have listed all the farmers markets and when they were opening, and Daniel and me have taken advantage. One of the tricks that I'd like to say for farmers market is we like to do a walkthrough of the farmers market, see things that kind of speak to us, and then what we do is get a coffee or we have lunch there or something, and we sit down and we discuss, of the ingredients we saw, which one of those would work best in our meal plan this week. So we went to the Union Station Farmer Market this weekend and we found some ideas. The first thing, this is some Wagyu beef that we found. We have decided we're gonna do kind of a spoof on a Benedict. We're gonna do but with a bechamel sauce. We also found these Pea Shoots. So when we were trying to figure out what we're gonna do, I typed in Pea Shoots because I saw that there was tons of these out there, and I looked at what they recommended. I found a pasta dish. They have Pea Shoots, they have bruschetta, and they had some goat cheese, and it was a pasta. And I thought we could make a Benedict. We can use some low carb type of bread, put this on there, and then put a poached egg with some bechamel sauce and then some Pea Shoots on top. And we thought that would be absolutely phenomenal, so we picked these up. The next thing we found were they had these beautiful like heirloom looking tomatoes. There is nothing like a ripe tomato. The tomatoes you typically buy at the grocery store, they pick them when they're green and then they spray a gas over them, which is a hormone that promotes ripening until they get them ripe, and then that's what you get in the grocery store. So when you get them from a farmer's market, they're just picked right off the vine. Absolutely delicious. This looks kind of like a funny one, but we look forward to trying this. We have another recipe where we're going to do kind of a low carb take on the Kentucky Hot Brown, so we brought this as well. One of my favorite tips is to meal plan. I found these online, and I'll link the where I found this down below. But what it does is we write down the meals that we're going to cook, and then we write down what we want to make, and then we put down the ingredients that we need to make those, and then we also put down any other ingredients that we want to buy. This is what Daniel and me do every Sunday. Is we make our list. Daniel goes and buys everything. We try to use up things that we have in the house. But I love this. It really keeps us on track. And then it also allows me, while he's out grocery shopping, I like to punch in the recipes that I don't know what the macros are, figure those out so I can calculate those throughout the week. One of the things that I find is really important that now that I've had the procedure is that we have to take time for ourselves, and so there are some beauty items that I wanted to point out. The first one is this Dr. Dart Shake and Shot. It comes with these two things. It's a rubber mask. You mix them together and then you put it on your face. You let it dry and it becomes a rubber, and then you peel it off. It is so satisfying, but I have to say I really enjoy them. They really make my face look good afterwards and keep me hydrated, but they do have this creepy little baby face on the front. I have also become, speaking of facial care, these Angels Bare Skin from Lush. I went there and I said I already have an exfoliator that I use. I wanted something gentle. This has almonds in it, ground up almonds to scrub your face, but they're so gentle. It's really made my face look really good afterwards, and I just wanted to point this out. The next thing is that Wet Skin Moisturizer. I have talked about this before. I am nervous about loose skin. I've been putting different lotions on, not sure that any of them are doing anything good, but I really like this one because I feel like it really helps me in the morning to get me out while feeling completely moisturized. So this one, you take your shower, you turn off the shower, you put this on before you drive off, and then you're able to dry off. There's no rinse needed, and it really does keep me well hydrated throughout the day. I don't know that it's firming in my skin, but I think keeping your skin healthy and moisturized will help it tighten up as well. So I really recommend this if you are looking for a moisturizer. The next thing is, and my sister actually is the one that bought this for me, and I've had this forever, but I am losing hair by the clumps. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous to watch me after the shower. I have all this hair that I have to throw away. And the one thing I'm really concerned about is I want to keep the hair that I do get to keep in good condition. So this is a Keratin Smooth. It's a infusing smoothing serum. I just apply this to the ends every day, and it really keeps the ends nice and healthy so that when I do get new hair growth in, this will help so that what's already there looks good, doesn't look too dry, and is ready to go. Another thing, I did add biotin to my vitamins. I added this because of the fact that I'm losing so much hair, and I was told by my doctor there's really not much you can do with the hair loss. What's going to be lost is going to be lost. But after 6 months, when you're getting ready to regrow those hairs, biotin will help with that. So I did add this to my regimen. The last thing I wanted to mention is I've really been pushing myself to exercise more. I've definitely been doing a lot of belly dancing. I've started taking yoga classes, and we also joined the Denver Rec Center, so we've been exercising. I find, and of course I'm doing my walks every morning with Guinness. I find that I'm still not as much as a gym freak as I think I should be. I think eventually I am going to get a personal trainer just to kind of help me around the gym, help me figure out the things I need to do. But I have to say I really enjoy group classes. I feel like it keeps me accountable. Like once the teacher gets to know you, they expect you to be there, and then they wonder where you were when you were gone. So at the Denver Rec Center, I have to say I love it. They have over 60 group classes a week. So if you're looking for a place, you may not want to choose some place that doesn't have that. Just depending on if you're very good at going on the treadmill, lifting weights, that's awesome. I, on the other hand, sometimes need a little bit of help to do that, but I enjoy the group class. I feel like it keeps me accountable. So with that being said, it may be a little bit more, but I've really been enjoying taking the group classes. And one of the things that I've also really enjoyed are these Justin almond butter packets. So when I have to go on Monday and Tuesday night, especially, I typically eat that chicken at 3, and then my class is at 6, so I don't get to eat until 7. And this is what I eat on the way home because I don't want anything too heavy because I'm going to go home and I'm going to go to bed pretty soon. But these have a good amount of protein in them. I mean 6 grams, but you can see it's just a little thing. And then 6 carbs, and they are 190 calories. But I feel like these really rejuvenate me after a workout. So I'm a big fan. I hope you enjoyed all my favorites. I know there is quite a few. If there are anything that you enjoy a lot that you think maybe I should try, please feel free to comment down below. I will continue every once in a while to bring in one of my favorite videos. There's a big market out there for low carb food, ketogenic food, and not all of it's good. So finding the foods that are low in carbohydrates, high in protein, that you enjoy are going to keep you on your diet, and that is so important. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you next week.